Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something that kind of sits right on that fascinating borderline between mystical philosophy and hard science. We're looking at using the law of attraction to create wealth and abundance. If you've ever wondered how certain people just seem to, naturally draw financial success toward them, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to bridge the gap between energetic attraction and human biology and show you exactly how this whole thing actually works. Okay, let's dive into this with a massive what if. What if your thoughts could literally turn into wealth? I know, it sounds a bit like magic, but I really want you to hold on to that question as we move through this explainer. What if the thoughts swirling around in your head right now are the actual, literal blueprints for your future bank account? To set the stage, let's look at this absolutely incredible quote from Wayne Dyer. He says, "Abundance is not something we acquire. It is something we tune into." I want you to really focus on that word tune, like an old school radio dial. It suggests that wealth isn't just something you desperately chase down out there in the real world. It's a frequency you align yourself with internally. Section 1. The core philosophy, the law of attraction and wealth. To truly grasp this philosophy, we really have to accept a pretty profound idea. Your current financial situation is a direct reflection of your past and present thoughts and beliefs about money. Let that sink in for a second. It completely validates the idea that our internal beliefs are the actual architects of our external financial reality. If you genuinely believe money is scarce, well, you're going to experience scarcity. But if you believe it's abundant, you experience abundance. At its core, the formal definition of the law of attraction is the simple principle that like attracts like. It's a universal rule suggesting that the energy you emit into the universe draws back to you experiences of a completely similar energetic frequency. Think of yourself as a giant broadcasting tower. Whatever frequency of energy you're sending out there is exactly what you're going to get back in return. And this brilliantly illustrates that exact idea, acting like two distinct magnetic fields. On one side, positive energy acts as a total magnet for positive outcomes. On the other, negative energy inevitably draws in negative outcomes. It's basically a mirror. If you approach your finances with fear and anxiety, you're just going to attract situations that cause more fear and anxiety. But if you approach them with joy and gratitude, you literally magnetize positive financial outcomes. So, your mind is literally a magnet. When you align your personal energy with the frequency of wealth, your dominant thoughts act as energetic broadcasts. And listen, these aren't just abstract woo-woo ideas. These thoughts create measurable pulses of energy that act as actual signals to the universe. Ultimately, what you think, feel, and believe about money inevitably becomes your real-world financial reality. Section 2. The science of wealth attraction, the brain's gatekeeper. Now, for those of you who prefer hard facts, let's shift gears from energy to biology. Imagine a funnel at the base of your brain. This represents the reticular activating system, or RAS. This is a real physical network of neurons at the base of your brain that acts as a gatekeeper. See, your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of information every single second. To keep you from totally short-circuiting, the RAS filters out what it deems unimportant and only lets in what you consciously or subconsciously tell it to focus on. This quote breaks it down perfectly using the car analogy. Have you ever bought a new car or even just started thinking about a specific model and suddenly you see it absolutely everywhere? There's one at the grocery store, one at the stoplight. That is your RAS at work. The cars were always there, but your brain was just filtering them out. When you focus on wealth, your RAS works exactly the same way. It starts actively highlighting financial opportunities that were right in front of you the whole time, but you were just completely unaware of them. Section 3. The chemistry of wealth, mindset, and biology. Now that we know how the brain filters information, let's look at how it chemically reacts. Because there is a massive biological contrast at play here. When you feel positive emotions regarding wealth, your brain releases beneficial electrochemical signals and neurochemicals that actually enhance your cognitive function and problem-solving abilities. You literally become smarter and more capable. But look at the scarcity trap. When you focus on fear and lack, your brain releases cortisol. This stress hormone physically narrows your focus and severely impairs your creative thinking. Your biology literally turns against your ability to generate wealth. How crazy is that? Now, what's really interesting about this is that there is a biological cure for that scarcity trap, and it's called neuroplasticity. This is your brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming entirely new neural connections. This means that even if you've spent a lifetime trapped in negative money patterns, your brain is physically capable of being completely rewired for wealth. As the famous scientific saying goes, neurons that fire together wire together. By consistently practicing new ways of thinking, you actually weaken those old, disempowering scarcity pathways, and you build strong, new, empowering pathways in your brain. You are, quite literally, biologically changing your mind. Section 4, Rewiring for Wealth, Shifting to an Abundance Mindset. So how do we practically fire up those new neurons? Well, we all have limiting money beliefs, right? Things like, money is hard to get, or I can't afford that. To wire new neural pathways, we have to reframe them into empowering abundance statements. Instead of money is hard to get, try money flows to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. Instead of the really restrictive, I can't afford that, reclaim your power with, I am choosing how to allocate my resources right now. It's a total game changer. Let's look at a couple more crucial ones. If you hold the limiting belief that rich people are greedy, you will subconsciously sabotage your own wealth because, well, you don't want to be greedy. Reframe it. Money is a tool for good, and I can create positive impact with my wealth. And if you secretly think, I don't deserve wealth, you absolutely must actively rewire that to, I am worthy and deserving of all the abundance life has to offer. To make this a daily habit, you can follow this simple 3-step reframing process. Step 1. Challenge the limiting belief when it pops up. Catch yourself in the act. Step 2. Create a direct counterstatement, just like the ones we just practiced. In step 3, and honestly this is the most important, embody the new belief. Feel the positive emotion associated with it so you trigger those beneficial neurochemicals and really wire those neurons together. Section 5. The power of self-worth. Expanding your receiving capacity. Now, all the brain science and reframing in the world isn't going to work if you skip this next step. So the crucial point is understanding the energetic link. Low self-worth vibrates at a uniquely low energetic frequency. If deep down you just don't value yourself, you are completely misaligned with the high-frequency emotions of joy, gratitude, and abundance. You simply cannot tune into the frequency of wealth if your self-worth is keeping your dial turned all the way down. Increasing your self-worth absolutely expands your capacity to receive. When you value yourself, you open the channels for the universe to send you more. So how do we build it? It's simple stuff, but powerful. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they seem. Invest in your own personal growth. Set firm boundaries in your life. And practice deep self-compassion. These everyday actions cultivate the self-worth required to truly attract and sustain long-term wealth. Which leaves us with one final very important thought. The science is crystal clear, the energetic principles are laid out, and the power is entirely in your hands. Will you start valuing yourself enough today to open the channels of abundance and expand your capacity to receive wealth? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.